right, I just thought I'd give you a little update on what I've got going on today. I'm just making this aerator out of stuff I have in my shop, and I have this 1/8 inch thick steel. It's 1.5 by 1.5 angle iron. That's pretty tight on there. And what I did is I cut them 3.5 inches long, and then I cut the top at an angle like that, and then I took an angle grinder. You can see all the dust on the ground from me sharpening these things, and I sharpened them so that if there's a small, I got a lot of old dead trees that I cut down whenever I cleaned the property to build the cabin, and there's a lot of little roots and stuff there. So I thought, well, if I cut this thing at a little bit of an angle, it will cut through those old roots and stuff. There's a lot of little roots, you know, just real small stuff. And this is what I've got so far. I've got the tongue on it, and I've got it all laid out for my spikes to go on there. There's gonna be 7 spikes and 9 lines of 7. So if I did my math right, that's what, 63 or 4 or something like that. I think it's 63. And I've got a whole stack of them over here. I was just putting them in this vise, sharpen this side, take it out, sharpen this side, throw it on the ground, grab another one. I don't care who you are. You do anything 63 times and you're gonna get real bored real quick. I was mind-numbing doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna call it quits this afternoon, and I'll get out here. Now I've got all those are ready to be welded in place. And I knew I was gonna be welding on this tank, and I don't wanna have any leaks because I'm gonna fill it up with water. So I bought me a box of 6011 welding rods, and man, it's just amazing to me the difference between the 6011 and the 7018. I welded the tongue on and went back over all my welds except for where it goes into the tank. And I may go over those later on after I get through, but I've still got to make me a couple of risers. And my daughter had this, I don't know if you can see it up there, you can see that right next to that old chainsaw. There's a couple of tires up there. It's to haul a kayak or a canoe across the ground. It's a little dolly, and it's been sitting up there for I don't know how many years, and she said she didn't want it, so I'm gonna take the tires off of it and put on this thing. Those tires are not good enough to hold it up if it's full of water, but just it empty, it'll be fine. But I'm gonna put me one here, maybe 4 or 5 inches higher than the spikes, and the spikes are 3.5 inches long. And that way, you know, I can roll it up on the trailer, or if I need to go across something, I can roll it around without dulling my spikes too much. But whenever I get started and everything, I'm gonna give you guys measurements of what I come up with, because I watched, I don't know, quite a few videos on YouTube. Nobody did it with angle iron like this, and I don't know if how well it's gonna work or if it's gonna work at all. I was just trying to use what I had in the garage, and I had this old angle iron. It was part of an old scaffolding, and it was too short for my scaffolding. It came with the scaffolding when I bought it, but there was 2 sets of it, and this stuff was too short. So I thought, well, heck, I'll just take 3 or 4 of those bars apart and cut those out and use those. And my thinking is as it goes into the ground, it's going to cut anything, go down, and kind of bring out a plug, just like a plugger would, you know, but it'd be a different, it won't be round, it won't be look like a dog turd, you know. But that's my thinking. And like I said, there's gonna be 9 rolls, 7 per roll, and that way I think it's gonna work okay. I think it will, so long as the weight is enough. And you know, if I need to, I can always add some masonry blocks. But 100 pounds is what they say this thing is. So if it weighs 100 pounds plus the tank, plus all the metal, plus, you know, the tires and everything I'm gonna have on it, it ought to be, you know, quite a bit of weight there, you know, getting 150 pounds anyway. So that should push that into that clay. I hope it does. I hope it does. But anyways, I just thought I'd show you guys what I was up to, and show you my big mess. You know, as usual, I always make a big mess. That gray on the floor is all dust. I mean, believe it or not, I sharpened every one of those. I don't know what name it is because there's no name no piece of paper on this. But I sharpened every one of those with this one. It wasn't new when I started, but it was pretty new. And I mean, I wore this thing just plumb out, but it did a really good job of sharpening them. But I did 63 of those, the left side, the right side, and ground off any slag. Because and one thing I did do is I made me a pattern with one, and then I used my plasma cutter to cut them. And I don't care how much you like doing something. You do it 63 times and you're gonna get in a hurry and you're gonna get impatient, and then you'll start getting stuff like this. It's a little crooked, you know. I'm gonna call that a serrated edge, so it'll cut through the roots better is what I'm gonna call it. Well, you guys have a great evening, and thanks for checking in with me, and I'll show you some more when I get out here in the morning.